want to be this girl so bad, but I'll forever be this girl probably. Hello, welcome to my January wrap-up. Did I already film this wrap-up yesterday? Yes, I did. Did I completely forget 2 books? Yes, I did. So now I am refilming my wrap-up, which is fine. It's important for me to include all the books that I read because I actually missed 2 that I really enjoyed. Anyway, if you can hear background noises, Remy is, I don't know, she's not cleaning herself, but she's kind of gnawing at her own body in order to scratch herself. So yeah, perfect timing. Anyway, I had such a good reading month. January really kicked off the reading year with a bang. I will include a book that I started in December and finished in January because that's just how I do it. In total, I didn't go to school for math, to quote one of my favorite drag queens, Katja. In total, I read 6 books. I also started reading 1 book, which I did not finish, but I got quite far into the book, so I read 6.5, I would say. And yeah, today we're going to talk about them, or I'm going to talk about them. Of course, we have to have a little coffee. Also, I brought my laptop and pulled up my Goodreads so I don't forget to list any books again. Yes, this is in chronological order as always. So let's start with The Rabbit Hutch by Tess Gunty, which was a 5-star read for me. My friend Laurel recommended this to me and I'm so happy that she did. I think I bought this in summer, no, not summer, but autumn, I feel like autumn 2023, and it's been sitting on my to be read shelf ever since, and then I picked this up after Christmas, after Christmas, and finished it in the beginning of this year. 5 stars. The Rabbit Hutch is about an apartment complex and all of these characters that live there. So we get quite a few perspectives from different people, which I quite enjoyed. I would say one of the main characters definitely is Blandine, this 18-year-old girl who just grew out of foster care and has now moved into one of the apartments in the Rabbit Hutch with 3 other boys that grew out of foster care recently. And something terrible happens. This is not a spoiler, this is basically the beginning of the book. And then we go back and the whole book kind of leads up to this moment. The writing style is amazing. This is such a rich book. Not only because there are so many characters and so many perspectives, but yeah, simply the way it is written feels so rich to me. Also, I envisioned this aesthetic whilst reading it because Blandine is obsessed with this Catholic mystic. I forgot the name. But yeah, she's obsessed with this mystic and kind of tries to live in her image, I would say. And this takes place during the Indiana summer, so a very hot setting in the United States. And I feel like the weather and the circumstances of, you know, the different people and what happens, and then this envisioned aesthetic that I had, it all kind of made this perfect mixture to dive into. I highly recommend this if you want to really get lost in a novel, lost in a story, This is, I have to say, this is unlike anything I've ever read. This is such a special book, in a way that, you know, Piranesi is another very special book for me that I keep recommending to everyone, and I feel like this is going to be the next Piranesi for me. This is going to be the book that I will be recommending to everyone. Unfortunately, I only got this copy. I know that the hardcover has such a beautiful kind of graphic design on the cover, so I feel like if I see it somewhere, I might have to pick it up and then maybe donate this one or give it to a friend. But yeah, The Rabbit Hutch, such a special book. Okay, the next book that I read was Transcendent Kingdom by gyasi. I had read Homecoming by gyasi years ago and I loved it, but unfortunately I did not enjoy Transcendent Kingdom whatsoever. This was actually the pick for our book club, but then I actually couldn't go to the book club because I was sick, and I also didn't want to finish the novel, so it kind of worked out in the end. But yeah, I'm not going into it because I feel like a lot of people enjoy this book and I didn't finish it, so I don't feel like I'm the expert to talk about this book, you know. So let's move on to something that I actually read and very much enjoyed, which was, and I don't have the copy because my friend Chelsea lent me her copy. It was I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. I feel like I already talked a little bit about this book in my last vlog, which I will link somewhere, professional. This is a dystopian novel about a group of women who find themselves living in a cage. They woke up in this cage one day and they don't really know what happened. They are being watched by these male guards who also feed them and kind of structure their daily life. But yeah, they are in this cage, they don't know what happened, how they got there, and the book is written from the perspective of a young woman who actually doesn't remember anything about the old world, so what her life was like or what life in general was like before she woke up in this cage. That's all I'm going to tell you about the plot, because I feel like if you want to read this, this is all you need. Again, such a rich novel. I really connected to the main character and I was rooting for her in such an emotional way. This was such an emotional read for me for some reason. I feel like because I felt so close to the main character, not because we have anything in common, but just the way Harpman, describes this character and her journey just felt very personal. Also, this is not for the faint of heart, I would say. There are some quite brutal things happening in the novel. At several points I just had to stop because it was getting too much. I also realized how much this read was affecting my mood. So yeah, it's not a happy book, I would say. It's quite dense, it's quite dark. For some reason it feels very French, which makes sense. Yeah, it's a classic. I think it was first published in the 80s and it really doesn't read like that. It's super accessible. I feel like it's having its moment. And I feel like people are kind of, rediscovering this, and it really reads like a modern classic. So if you want to get into something a bit more classical, is that the right word? I'm not sure. Anyway, if you want to read something that feels a bit more literature, pick this up. Don't be scared. It's super accessible, easy to read, and super engaging. Next up, an audiobook that I was listening to throughout the month, especially on my morning walks with the dog. It was a non-fiction book. It's called Monsters, A Fan's Dilemma by Dederer. Amazing book. This touches upon the question of, can we separate the art from the artist? So can we enjoy a Roman Polanski film, for example, without feeling bad because he is a bad person and he did bad things? You can look it up. I'm not getting into this now. This book includes people like Picasso, Roman Polanski, Joni Mitchell, who else? There were so many people. Also, she keeps quoting Kanye West, which I feel like this book was published at a time when Kanye was not in full-on monster mode, to kind of reference the book. So yeah, that felt a bit funny. Anyway, I really enjoyed listening to this. I think what I enjoyed about the book is that it had this kind of academic approach to answering this question, almost like a research question, but at the same time it was written in a very journalistic way, so again quite accessible. So I particularly enjoyed the style of the book. Also, I really enjoyed the voice of Claire Dederer. I feel like I will definitely look up other things that she has written. And in the end, I don't quite agree with her, but still I gave it 4 stars, and still I learned a lot. And I agreed with a lot of things that she talked about concerning, you know, these male geniuses like Picasso and Hemingway and Polanski and so forth and so forth. Yeah, I'm so glad that I read it. I will definitely pick up a physical copy when I get the chance, because I feel like this is a book that I will keep revisiting. And I would also, you know, love to engage with the text a little bit more, so I feel like a physical copy would really help with that. Highly recommend. Very good audiobook to listen to. If you're looking for a non-fiction book to listen to, this is a good one. Right, the next book was quite a surprise. I had seen this book on someone's Instagram page, someone who I follow who reads a lot, and yeah, she completely fell in love with this book, and I thought, okay, I might read this at some point. And then my friend Chelsea wanted to give her copy away, and I was like, check, please, can I have this? So yeah, Intimacies by Katie Kitamura. Again, another 5-star read. Yeah, I fell in love with this book. What can I say? This is set in The Hague, or Den Haag, which I feel like immediately sold me. I went to The Hague a few years ago. I have a vlog on my trip. I will link it again somewhere. Yeah, so The Hague is a special city for me with such fond memories. So this was really cool because throughout the book I always knew where they were and what it looked like, and I feel like this helped me really kind of engage with the text and sucked me right in. So this is about a woman who is working as an interpreter at the International Court. Of course, we know the International Court is in The Hague, and she's been there for almost a year, I believe, and now she has to kind of decide whether she wants to stay, continue working there, or if she wants to go somewhere else. I think before she came to The Hague, she lived in New York, and she's also contemplating whether to maybe go back there. Yes, she is involved with this Dutchman called Adriaan, who, I don't know, he's this kind of stoic, not very emotional, but still very caring, charismatic Dutchman. And I feel like Katie Kitamura really nailed it on the head when it comes to Dutch people. So I really enjoyed the dynamic of their relationship. Also, what I enjoyed about this book, I mean, it's called Intimacies, but the different kind of intimacies she includes in this novel She does it so well. Intimacy between a brother and a sister, intimacy between strangers, between lovers, between best friends. If you like books on relationships, highly recommend this one. What I also really enjoyed is I feel like I tend to read a lot of novels centering on 20-something-year-olds because I feel like this is what's being published at the moment, or what is maybe hip at the moment. And these people are a little bit older, and I mean, I'm not in my 20s anymore, so I feel like I really related to these characters. Yeah, I really related to them. And I quite enjoyed that because it was nice to read about someone who, you know, has a steady job but still maybe hasn't everything figured out. And yeah, I really enjoyed being able to relate to these characters in that kind of way. 5 stars. What a surprise, but I'm so happy. 2 more books. 2 books that I didn't really enjoy. One of them was fine, it was sweet. The other one I have beef with. So this video will end on a rant. Anyway, but before we go into the rant, I read Becky Chambers's A Psalm for the Wild Build. I feel like this was on so many favorite lists of 2023, so I thought, okay, I'll pick this up. I have to say I was at this point, I mean, Intimacies definitely helped, but I was at this point, I had read I Who've Never Known Men, which, you know, put me in such a bad mood, even though I enjoyed it. Then I was also listening to Monsters, and then I was also watching something that really made me... What was I watching? Anyway, I was watching something that was also kind of depressing. So I felt like, okay, I need something to kind of, you know, reset my mood, and yeah, maybe something uplifting, and I thought this might be the one. It was definitely a sweet novel. This is about a monk that sets out to become a tea monk, which means they go from town to town, set up this little tea ceremony, and then people come, talk about their problems, about their feelings, and then the monk provides a certain type of tea that will help with the according problem, or, you know. And then at some point, this monk, who's kind of trying to find themselves, meets a robot. So in this world, robots and humans are kind of sharing the planet, but they don't interact with each other. And because the robots became independent at some point and kind of moved to another part of the planet. But this robot was sent out to reconnect with the humans, and this particular robot was sent out to try to answer the question of what people need, what humans need. So now they're on this journey together, going from place to place, and yeah, that's it basically. I feel like this might be enjoyed by people who like philosophical topics in a fictional setting, and also if you like cozy reads. I would definitely call this one cozy. I mean, it's super short. If you want to find out for yourselves, definitely pick this up. But there's also a second one out, but I don't think I will be reading that. I mean, this is just not the type of book that I particularly enjoyed, and also the writing style is not my cup of tea, but I definitely can see why this is successful and why a lot of people enjoy this. So yeah, again, find out for yourselves if you're interested. And finally, I was about to say let's end on a high note, but no, this is definitely a low note. Okay, I'm trying to compose myself a little bit. Next up, I read I'm a Fan by Sheena Patel. So this was my final read in January. And it's so funny because my reading month started with a 5-star book and it ended with a 1-star book. I gave 1 star. Not hating on anyone who enjoys this. Also not hating on Sheena Patel. I mean, she's a published author, I'm not, so you know, I know my place. This was so annoying. It was so annoying. Oh, it really, I mean, this has how many pages? It's like 200 pages and it took me forever to read this because I was so annoyed and I did not want to keep reading it. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I kind of have to finish it now because I already read like 120 pages. Anyway, why I am so annoyed by this is because this is being marketed as something that it really isn't. And to kind of make this clear, I would like to read a little bit of the synopsis. So this says, the unnamed narrator of I'm a Fan is in a seemingly unequal relationship with the man I want to be with. She is also addicted to cyber-stalking the man's other lover, an online influencer she refers to as the woman I am obsessed with. So I thought, oh, this could be interesting. A woman being obsessed with her lover's other lover. So rather than being obsessed with a man, she's obsessed with this other woman that he's sleeping with or that he's seeing. I thought, okay, this could be an interesting concept. This is not what this book is about. This book is very much about the narrator being obsessed with this mediocre man who treats her like and who has, for some reason, all these women lining up for him, even though he is boring, he has no charisma, he's not treating them well, he's whiny, I don't know. I guess the only thing he has going for him is that he's good and bad and he has money. But if that's like, if these are the characteristics we are, you know, basing our obsession on, I feel like, no, that's not enough. That's not enough. Also, the ending, spoiler alert, so if you still want to read this, this is going to be a spoiler alert. This novel ends with the main character, you know, they're on and off, on and off, on and off, but it ends with them being on again, or thinking about being on again. And the main character is like, okay, I'll just tell him that I'm on the pill so he can impregnate me and then we'll be connected forever. Excuse me, it's 2024. Not trying to shame women. I mean, you know, every woman can do whatever she wants, but like, no. I found her so annoying and so unrelatable, and yeah. This gave me nothing except for annoyance. So yeah, I'm a fan. No, I'm not. Definitely not a fan. Probably not the first one to make this joke. Anyway, that was my reading month. January, it was, yeah, still, it was a great reading month. I'm super happy to be reading this much again, and I hope I can keep it up. What did you read in January? And did you have a favorite? Did you read any book that kind of annoyed you? Let me know in the comments. Also, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. I know some of you are watching without subscribing, so if you want to help a girl out, please subscribe. Give a thumbs up if you liked this video, and I will be seeing you in the next one. Bye!